Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to this frequently asked question video. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you so much for being here. I love your questions. Facebook, Twitter, Google, plus my website, nadiyashah.com, and the YouTube comments as well. Please do keep them coming. Absolutely love interacting with you guys. Always try to acknowledge it with a thumbs up or a like or whatever the case may be. However it is that I can say thank you so much for your interaction. And of course, love this moment with you as well. And I appreciate your trust so much. So this question comes from Ace Mirrorman on Facebook. And Ace gave a lot of positive energy. Thank you so much for that. So many of you out there give and send me so much positive energy. Truly so grateful for it. Thank you. And Ace asked about what does it mean to be a double sign or a triple sign? So what does it mean? And I've heard this said again and again over the years. What does it mean if somebody says I'm a double Sag, or I'm a triple Leo, or I'm a double Taurus, or I'm a triple Scorpio? What does that mean? So very happy to answer that question. In astrology and in the astrology chart, there's what we would call it the big three, or at least I call it the big three, the big significators. And if you ever find yourself at an astrology conference, you will find people asking each other, you know, like, what sign are you? And normally, if you're at an astrology conference among astrologers, people are not going to say like, oh, I'm just a particular sign. They're going to say, this is my sun, this is my moon, this is my ascendant. Those are the big three. And in an astrological chart, those are the three most significant indicators as to what is most important to you. Now, yes, I have heard people say I'm a quadruple Sag or a quadruple Aries. And what that means is, ultimately, when they say that I'm a double whatever, it usually means that they've got two, or if they say they're a triple, 2 or 3 of the big three in the same sign. And when I hear somebody say I'm a quadruple whatever, a quadruple Aries, let's say, to me that means, like, I think, okay, this person has sun, moon, and rising sign in Aries plus an additional planet. So I've never heard somebody say that they're a triple Aries and not have sun, moon, and rising in that sign, or to just say they're a triple Aries, but they only have their sun in Aries, and then they've got Venus and Mercury, for example, Venus and Mercury in Aries along with the sun, considering themselves a triple Aries. That's been my experience. Normally, when somebody says that they're a double something or a triple something, it means that they've got either 2 or 3 of the big three in a particular sign. And then if they've got 1 or 2 more planets in the same sign, then they'll say I'm a quadruple this, or whatever the case may be. So what does that mean? The sun, the moon, the rising sign, very important. Possibly the most important symbols in the natal chart. It's sort of where you start when you're looking to examine a natal chart. You start with the big three. Because the ascendant sign, it means different things, and I explore this more in my book, Astrology Realized, but the ascending sign means different things depending on the system of astrology, but it's always important. And it has to do with the most immediate impression that you make. It has to do with what really matters to you and how you most closely identify on some level. And it has to do with, as I said, like, it's like sort of your most immediate way of interacting with people, especially when you don't really know these people. So what I have found is, once, like, if you step into a new situation and you're one-on-one with people or in a small group, then you usually approach that situation from your rising sign. When you are comfortable in a group or with your family, you're more your moon sign. And if it's something where you're having to be even larger, where you're seen from an even like broader perspective, like you have a public persona, that tends to be your midheaven. So, and I'll save the midheaven for another video. But having said that, The ascendant point, always important. And when a major planet comes along and conjuncts that ascendant, it always represents a big change in the way you understand yourself, usually brings about a change in appearance as well. It becomes a very dominant, potent energy in the chart. When a planet comes along and conjuncts that, it really does sort of color how you are perceived by the world, what you are radiating as well. The sun is what you step into over the course of this life. It's how you become more you, how you find your light, your center, your power, your core, how you become more comfortable and more self-possessed. It is something that you grow into. It's a very important symbol in a chart. The moon is how you feel comfortable. How do you feel emotionally fulfilled? How do you feel cared for? How do you give care? That's what the moon is. So these are the big three in a chart. And when somebody says that they're a double any sign, it means that that energy is that much more important. So if they say that I'm a double Scorpio, let's say, they say I'm a double Scorpio, my sun and my moon. Well, what that means is their sun, their need, or how they become more themselves is they go about it, they manifest it in a way and with an energy that ultimately feels very emotionally fulfilling for them. And the way that they manifest and more fully embody themselves is very much in tandem with how it is that they come to provide for themselves and nourish themselves on an emotional level, and how they care for other people as well. If someone were a triple Scorpio, then that would mean that the impression that they give, most immediate parts of their identity, the most immediate impression that they make when you meet them, is with that very Scorpio energy as well. Now, our ascendant is also the mask, like it's like a persona we wear, and ultimately it is to feel safe in the world. How it is that we first sort of navigate the world so that we can feel a sense of being protected, so that we more slowly can bring about these other elements of ourselves. Now, if you have your rising sign in the same sign as your sun or your moon, it means that that persona, like it's almost like what you see is what you get, becomes that much more dominant. So if somebody says they're triple Sag, then really like what you see is what you get. You're going to see all Sag in this person. Their emotional needs are going to be very much tied to that Sagittarian archetype of freedom, of exploration, of adventure, of growth. But that's also the process they go through to become more themselves, and what they understand that to mean. How they become more self-possessed, how they more fully become themselves, and how they understand that energy becomes that much more important, but it's a much more transparent process for them. So it isn't so much like, sometimes it can be very different. It can be like, okay, your sun and your moon and your rising are all in totally different signs, sometimes in really inharmonious positions as well. And it just means that these different major parts of you have different needs that need to be acknowledged in their own way. So you've got to make space and time to acknowledge each one of these. But when you've got two or more of the big three in a single sign, it means that ultimately what one part of you needs, what a very core one part of you needs, is shared by another core part of you as well. Certainly gives you a lot of focus, gives you a lot of intensity within that specific energy, but it also means that you're able to take that energy and more fully realize it more and more over the course of this lifetime in a way that brings you comfort, and in a way that allows you to feel like people are seeing you for who you really are right off the bat as well. Well, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, everyone out there, for this moment with you. Again, please do keep them coming, the questions coming. I truly do appreciate it, and thank you so much for your trust. Until we connect again, take care.